This is the Stories from the Field podcast, a Delaware Farm Bureau production, sharing real stories from local farmers while educating the public on the agriculture industry. Hi, my name is Macy Carter, and I am the co-chair of the Promotion and Engagement Committee at the Delaware Farm Bureau. I am here at this special edition of the Stories of the Field podcast with Drew Harris, who works for University of Delaware Cooperative Extension, and we are going to do a little podcast about Delaware Ag Week. Drew, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
What is your role with Extension, and what do you do specifically?
So I am the Kent County Ag Agent for UD Extension, and I serve just the county. We do have some people that also serve statewide positions, but I serve the county. My focus is in agronomy.
Nice.
Yep. And that's actually gotten broadened out as I've progressed in my position. I'm doing a lot of things that I never really thought I would be involved with when it comes to like flower farming, or even some of the smaller scale farmers that we also have that have grown within the county as well.
Good.
But try to really take some of the information that some of our extension specialists develop over the years, especially when it comes to research and production, and try to really educate our growers and help them be informed on the overall picture and progress in agriculture as it continues to evolve.
Yeah.
Now, also with that, my job is it changes seasonally, right? In the winter, we're really focused on educational programs. Whereas in the spring, summer, and fall, it evolves to a lot of planting decisions, or pre-planting decisions, or replant recommendations, sort of those conversations. In the summer, it's a lot of really general, in-depth scouting, going out, meeting with growers, seeing what they have going on, seeing what issues that they have, and then in the fall, wrapping up. I do a lot of yield checks. So does our other county agents do as well with the various Corn Growers Association or Sorghum Growers Association.
Nice.
That we do a lot of those yield checks as kind of a non-biased person that you can call to conduct that. And it's nice to see the final product of what the people and the farmers in Delaware are able to produce when it comes to those yield contests, because it's a national contest and a state contest, right? And do is showcase really how far things have come from a yield standpoint.
Yeah.
And it's nice to sit in the combine, and just talk to some of the growers about the final few months, or the final few weeks of their year, if I hadn't seen them since scouting in the summer. But yeah, the big focus is really just trying to get out and beat some driveways down, and really interact with people, and try to be the best county agent that I could possibly be.
That's great. So. Thank you, Drew. I didn't realize how much you did, and how much Extension does. And you mentioned it, but the key part of your job is to educate and to inform farmers that come to you and ask for help and need questions answered. You're kind of that go-to person for support.
Exactly. And I really try to focus on, like I said on the previous question, was really trying to get out there, right? We live in a digital world, and I think especially farmers, they really appreciate you making the effort to go out and meet with them and look at what they have and be there physically present. So they really value that. So that's how Extension's role needs to continue in the future as well.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. And I'm sure you've met with many farmers that have, benefited from the resources that you provide through Extension and have seen it. And I love how you mentioned at harvest, it's the cultivation of your yields, and you're seeing all your hard work, be put to good use.
Yeah. And it's just, Delaware's unique because, it's such a small state and everybody knows everybody, right? And overall, it's just nice. You're able to have such a connection with such a wide group of people that, would be difficult in other areas.
Yeah. We're here at Delaware Ag Week. And Drew, you play an important role in the planning and process of getting ready for Ag Week. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there's two main pillars when it comes to Ag Week: the exhibitors and the vendors here in the Dover building, and then it is the educational presentations and programs that we have over in the exhibit hall and in the Delaware building.
Nice.
That's really the two main pillars, right? And Corey is our chair. I'm the co-chair, and our focus is really try to keep the overall those two pillars organized. We have chair people that oversee certain talks that we have in certain categories, and then making sure that all our vendors are here in an ideal spot and are able to showcase what they offer to all the producers in Delaware.
That's wonderful. Now, let's say I'm a farmer. Why would I want to come to Delaware Ag Week? What would I get out of it?
So you get a lot of great interaction and a lot of good educational programs that you'll be able to take back to your farm, maybe make some management adjustments as well with that. That's the big thing. Anytime that we're focused on research and then trying to disseminate that research, the big focus is making sure that it's practical and that people value it and they can take it home and change or just adjust whatever practices they're doing to try to improve yield or even profitability or or lower some environmental risks, right? All those are encompassed as well. But the educational programs are really good. We have a wide selection, wide variety throughout the 4 days that people can come and get anything in ag almost, right?
Yeah.
Covers a lot. And then at the same time, they're able to meet a lot of different vendors that might be able to help them and service them within the year that they may have coming up. So and finally that camaraderie with other producers, right? It's important to try to meet and talk with other people as well that are in the same sort of field and same industry as you, and just the Delaware way.
Yeah, so. I would totally agree. Now, this has been a long-standing tradition. Delaware Ag Week is a big event for our farmers, and they also get something out of it with credits. Can you talk a little bit about the credits and how they apply to the sessions?
Yep. So there's three main categories of credits, right? Pesticide, nutrient management, and CCA. We offer Delaware and Maryland nutrient management and pesticide for a majority of the educational programs. Not every one of them, but most of them. And similar with CCA, we were able to fill a lot of different categories for CCA. So that also helps us kind of broaden out to not just farmers, but some ag consultants as well that are working with some of our producers in the state. So they're able to maintain those certifications that they need. Those certifications are really important, especially for the farmers and the consultants, because those farmers are, applying nutrients or applying pesticides. So they need to maintain their certifications to be able to do that. And at the same time, our consultants and people that work in industry also have to be able to maintain those certifications to conduct their job, and just overall to stay informed on what's changing, right? It's always evolving. There's new products coming out, new techniques. So that kind of fully encompasses that.
Yeah, I love that this is a yearly tradition. So every year the farmers can come, get their credits, and then also be updated at the same time, like you said, on the current facing issues of farming. So that is really wonderful. Now, you touched on that we have a variety of sessions to attend. Can you specifically state some of those sessions and the wide diversity that you offer?
So today's Wednesday. This morning we had processing vegetables and a woodland management session. Nice. This afternoon we're having a variety of soil sessions related to soil fertility, nutrient management, and soil health, and a pollinator session. And DDA is also having their session when it comes to Farm 2 is entitled that program. Tomorrow, Thursday, is tailored towards agronomy. That's its main focus. So we'll have most of our extension specialists come up from Carville, and they'll be talking about a wide range of things related to agronomy, whether it's entomology or pathology or soil fertility, and or as well weed management, right? Or weed science.
Nice.
So that's the back half of the week. The prior half of the week, Monday and Tuesday. Monday is really focused towards our commercial poultry growers with talks from our poultry agent, Georgie Cartanza. She does a great job as a poultry farmer herself, really portraying the messages that are important for our poultry producers, even from her own experience growing poultry. So I always like listening to Georgie's presentations, and especially with the current environment with avian influenza, hearing a lot of those biosecurity talks are really important to make sure that we can, maintain our kind of somewhat control or management of AI, right? And Tuesday has got a variety of things. In the morning, we typically have our hay and pasture program that's really well attended mostly,
Wow.
and followed by another vegetable session as well. And then there's a fruit session mixed in with all that. At night, we have Tuesday and Wednesday in the week at night. We also have some programs that are related to beef, small flock, or small ruminant animals. So we're getting a variety, right? You're getting animal production, crop production, and that includes row crops, vegetable crops, all sorts of wide variety of animals, and some pollinators, some. Farm Bureau had a program too, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was yesterday.
Nationwide,
so.
yeah. I think that you hit every single commodity that we grow in Delaware almost, and it's great that there's a session for any kind of farmer, whether you're a small farmer or a big grain crop farmer. You can come to Delaware Ag Week and really take something away.
Yeah, so you're really able to kind of get information on what you're interested on, and at the same time get the benefit of those credits.
Yeah.
And get the benefit of coming out and meeting some of our extension personnel too, right? So that way we can continue to build those important relationships, because really it's a extension too is really a partnership with our growers. We would not be able to do what we do without our farmers and those close personal relationships that we have to be able to use section of their farm for some research plot, or just being able to stay up informed.
I love that. Yeah, extension is definitely a partnership, between your staff as well as the farmers, and I think it's mutually beneficial for both of you to work together, and you learn something from them while they take away resources from you.
Yeah, I trust me, I learn a lot from them. The funny thing is, ag is such a broad topic. It's hard to really know everything, right? And even when you're young in your career and you can study a lot, there's farmers that have farmed for 30 and 40 years, and they know a thing or two. Trust me. So
they do. I hear it all the time.
So trust me. Even if you're going out and trying to help people and give them new information and research, it's always good to talk to some of them and get their perspective on things, because they definitely are farmers. Like I said, especially the ones that are well experienced. They have a wealth of knowledge, and it's always important. I try to soak up. There's quite a few of them that I go and talk to and work with, and always, every time there's a talk, always try to soak up as much as I can.
I love that.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's all about relationship building, and you get that through extension.
Exactly.
Now, this podcast is called the Stories from the Field podcast, where we're highlighting different members' stories. What is your personal connection to agriculture, and why do you do what you do?
So, contrary to what might be typical, I did not grow up on a farm, but I grew up next to a farm. And I'll shout him out in this interview. I grew up next to Kalmar Farms, which is Tommy Eliason. And I helped Tommy in the summer with his stand and some of his farmers markets. And he also allowed me to keep my animals, my livestock animals, up to his farm, which was, I still thank him to this day for allowing me to do that.
Yeah.
Because 4-H and FFA was kind of the spark, right? And that animal show world progressed throughout my 4-H and FFA career. I started out with just poultry, which I was able to have at my own house, and I still have those show birds today. I still do that today, right? But Tommy, as that progressed, I wanted to show the livestock world. I wanted to show pigs. I wanted to show market lambs. So that the chickens were the gateway to more and larger animals.
Right. I like that.
So of course, it was 4-H, FFA, and showing livestock. And that really what piqued my interest and kept me involved in ag, especially in high school and in middle school, taking ag science classes.
Awesome.
Having good FFA advisors helps as well, and good 4-H leaders, right? Miss Elaine was great, and FFA, Miss Scott and Will and Mr. Curry were great mentors, really, to my career and decision making when it came to agriculture. And then finally that evolved to going to college and wanting to do ag business and wanting to do crop science. And like I said, Mr. Curry in particular at Lake, he went to Del Val, and that was one of the reasons why I went to Del Val. There was a lot, but he was one of the ones that definitely kind of showed me what a potential college career would be at Del Val. And so all that evolved to, again, majoring in ag business and minoring in crop science. And I will say college was a wonderful experience. Learned a lot, right? And it didn't quite end the way that I wanted to because COVID happened and everything. But just as in life, things aren't going to go your way as you always want them to. And you just continue to progress. So when I got out of college and graduated, I started work at Growmark FS in Milford, where I worked with a lot of those guys there.
Nice.
And again, a lot of the staff there, Matt Ivory and Larry Lee, they were great mentors again. And I think you find that throughout ag, right? It is, we live in an industry where we have an aging population, but if you take an interest, there's a lot of people that will really help you out, right? Take you under their wing and help you and try to get you in areas where you can grow and learn and progress your career and become a better person too, right? So anyways, back onto the career. I worked at Growmark for about 1.5 years, and then had an opportunity to apply for this position. And it was after I went through the whole interview process and everything, it was offered to me. And being in 4-H and getting exposure to what ag agents, what extension agents do, I knew really the impact that they could have and how beneficial of a job it would be. And so it was hard for me to leave Growmark, but I took the county ag agent position, and now I've been here over 3 years. I could not tell you where those 3 years went. Time continues to go fast, but it's been a great 3 years, and I look forward to several more as being the county agent. But yeah, that's the evolution of my journey in ag. Like I said, it didn't start on a farm, but it started living next to a farm, and that really continued to progress as it went along. So
I really appreciate you sharing your story, Drew, and I love the shout out of 4-H and FFA. And as you know, we grew up in 4-H and FFA together, so that
we did.
I can similarly relate to your story and how those youth organizations just built up the skills we needed to be in agriculture and spark the interest.
They did, and it helped having good peers, right? And it helped having good leaders in those situations. And it still helps me today. As a county agent, a lot of people that I get to meet, a lot of people at Farm Bureau especially are really helpful, right? Talking to them routinely and being good mentors. A lot of them, Delaware being such a small state, right? A lot of them knew my dad or my mom. And so, kind of having some prior experience with them has helped as being the county agent, because I was able to know a lot of people right out of the gate, right? Being able to not only living in the county and working in private industry for a little while, but really growing up around ag and growing up around a lot of people that are involved in ag and their parents are involved in ag's helped. But same thing with Farm Bureau.
I liked how you mentioned that you didn't grow up on a farm, but you grew up next to a farm, and I think that's inspiring for people that are interested in ag. It just takes being involved in it, seeing what opportunities there are, and having really good mentors and leaders and help guide you in the direction where you want to go. Yeah,
exactly. And then, UD Extensions have been great as well, because there's been a lot of good people that have really helped give me good pointers and good guidance throughout. And like I said, for Farm Bureau too, right? Mr. Minner, Jim Minner, he does a great job at keeping me informed and giving good advice and staying involved. So
we really appreciate you coming on this podcast. This was a last minute thing actually, and Drew willingly hopped on board, and we really appreciate the University of Delaware Cooperative Extension partnership with Farm Bureau as well, and all that you do for farmers.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.